what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
I hate when people talk during the movie. Over the line!
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Return to VIDEOTECH.
Hello and welcome back to a special halfway to Halloween episode of Return to VIDEOTECH. That's right, folks. We're talking vampire hunters, masked murderers, and paranormal hauntings on this one. Here's the rundown. First up, we got John Carpenter's Vampires and Lake Mungo in our Blind Buy segment. Then we'll double up on the vampire hunting with this episode's Spotlight and one of my absolute favorites, Blade. And we'll wrap things up with some homework. Matt's assignment this week was In a Violent Nature, and he was kind enough to assign me an Experiment in Terror from 1962, because that's what Matt does. He assigns me movies that haven't been relevant since before my grandmother had the right to vote.
Absolutely.
And with me, as always, is my friend with the cinematic taste of Mitch McConnell, Matt. How's it going, dude?
Good, man, but I am like all out of sorts. I completely forgot that we're even doing like a halfway to Halloween episode. I know what we were. I know what we were doing for the Spotlight and everything. I know we're doing Blade. I know what movies I watched, but I just completely forgot that was the theme.
The theme.
And now I'm being pulled back in. I mean, I've been going like crazy the last week and a half or so, just like plans nonstop. I was on the road for work this week. I left Pittsburgh Tuesday morning I left my house at like 4 a.m. Well, let me take you back. Monday night, Lindsay and I went to see Michael Chabon, the guy, Chabon? I don't know. Several of those pronunciations. The guy that wrote the book Wonder Boys.
Okay. Big night for you.
It's actually one of Lindsay's favorite authors. Not because of that book. Like I like that movie, and I just finished the book. But he wrote a book called The Mysteries of Pittsburgh. He went to the University of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Lindsay's a big fan of him. He wrote a book called Cavalier and Clay, which is sort of like comic book based novel. I don't know how to really describe it, but it's like comic book inspired. And he was speaking at Carnegie Hall of Music or whatever it is, Carnegie Theater, something. And so she got us tickets to go to that, and it was cool. It was really cool. I thought about just buying another copy of Wonder Boys to see if he would sign it, but like I had to travel the next morning, so I was like, we got to get out of here. I had a 6 a.m. flight, so I was like, it was already like 9 o'clock. I'm like, we can't wait in line for this stuff. But yeah, it was cool. Weirdly enough, he also wrote the screenplay, the original screenplay for Spider-Man 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how about that? So, like, I would have loved to talk to him and just be like, I think, like, there ended up being other iterations of the script, but he is credited in the movie.
That's awesome. That's like my favorite Spider-Man.
Same, and it's one of my favorite superhero movies in general. Mm-hmm. It might be like my favorite of the whole run, like going back to like, let's just say 2000 on, because Blade is 98. So that, obviously Blade is a masterpiece, can't be touched. I
was gonna say, I'm just gonna put it out there. I would rank Blade over Spider-Man 2 for myself.
Isn't it weird that Blade came out before the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man? I don't know why that seems weird to me. It seems like Spider-Man launched everything. Like that in my mind, everything big and good that happened for Marvel started with that first Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I always associate like the early Marvel stuff, like X-Men, Spider-Man, Blade. Like they were all like, pre Disney Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very nostalgic for all those movies. I know they're not all great, but I enjoy all of them pretty much.
Well, I at least liked what they were going with that first run of X-Men movies. I mean, that was the first in my memory, the first like let's announce like a cast of all of these characters, and literally you sent me a text of something like this today, which I didn't even respond to. I'm just remembering now. But I did
I
see
should
it.
pull that one out when we get to. I ended up buying that movie, and I can't remember the name of it now. I'll pull it out in physical media pickups.
But what became like the big Comic-Con thing and like the announcing like these big casts, like it would happen again with, you know, Star Trek reboots or whatever, like announcing who's going to... I feel like the X-Men live action movies was like the first iteration of that.
Yeah.
That I remember. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get Michael Chabon's autograph on my Wonder Boys book.
So sad.
But I'm telling you this because my week has just been crazy. Like we went to that show Monday night, and then I got up at 4 a.m. on Tuesday. It's like 40 degrees out. I fly to Phoenix, Arizona, get off the plane. It's 109 degrees. So from my morning to like a few hours later, it's a 69 degree temperature swing.
I would not enjoy that.
I brought a blazer with me. Wore it for 3 minutes. The whole trip.
It was like 77 degrees today, and Chris's parents came over for dinner, and we were outside playing with the dog and Marley a little bit, and I was sweating after just being outside in 77-degree weather. So
it's one of my most self-loathing qualities. I wish I just sweat less.
I run hot too.
Yeah.
I think we're both kind of sweaty dudes.
It's not a great trait to have. It's maybe my most regrettable.
Yeah.
But so I've just been on sort of this crazy whirlwind. We were supposed to record last night, and I was just, you know, I got back to my house midnight Wednesday night, and then turned around and worked Thursday morning. We were supposed to record last night. I hadn't watched Blade yet, so then I watched it last night.
Slacking.
Yeah, and then I did have plans to meet up with I did have plans to meet up with Zach of Greatest Moments fame, which I was telling him briefly like tonight. I was just like, you know, it's interesting. In the time since we ended that show, I randomly have people like either comment on one of my posts on Letterboxd or reach out to me on Instagram or whatever and just ask me, hey, what happened to the show? How is Zach? Is he still alive? Was there some falling out? Is Greatest Moments coming back? And I'm always like, well, you know, Zach burns fast and bright, and I think he was a little burnt out on the show and everything that he had to do for it, which was a lot. I mean, he did all the notes for the show. I just showed up and he hit record, and I would try to make a couple jokes along the way, and that was it. So he did a lot for it, and I just tell people that I think he was a little burnt out on it. But there's been some people that are like, well, what gives? Way to just leave everybody abandoned. But it's mostly just been, hey, are you guys going to do the show again? And I'm like, I don't know. Zach and I still hang out, but I don't, never say never, but I don't see it in the foreseeable future. And he asked me like, hey, do any of these people listen to what you and Keith are doing? And I'm like, yeah, they do, but they'll be like, hey, I like the new show, but are you and Zach getting back together? I'm like, well,
They think you guys got divorced from your friendship or something.
yeah, I guess, which I kind of get, because in hindsight, we did do that show for like 8 years, and it did pick up some listeners over the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it just, for that subset of people that listen to it regularly, we were doing it. We did a lot of episodes over an 8-year period, and it probably seemed like more dramatic that it just disappeared.
Well, I remember being shocked and being kind of like, what the hell?
Well, it was funny for me, Keith, because I never really was the one that interacted with people. Zach emailed with people and messaged people, and now I'm left picking up the pieces.
I mean, I think I've told you this before, but like part of the reason I even started a YouTube channel and approached you about doing this was because you guys stopped, and I was like,
we need to fill that void.
I missed listening to you guys talk about movies and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look, I loved Greatest Moments, but I love doing this show with you. But let's just say the door is open for
Yeah.
Zach, like, appearance on this show.
Okay.
I talked. This was the first time we discussed it ever, and he was like, "Yeah." I mean, he wasn't like I couldn't. He's like, I can't do a show again, but I could show up and do. He could be like the Tracy Letts of our show.
Yeah. All right.
You know.
Well, we got to get him in here, and then I can slide into the background and be like the man in the chair and take care of all the editing and stuff.
You stay in the foreground. But he's back. I mean, he's because when we stopped doing Greatest Moments, he was sort of out on everything. He wasn't. He sold like all of his movies, but he's back in a big bad way. Compulsive behavior. Like crazy, putting in Orbit DVD orders all over the place. So
I love our little group. We have a little group chat, us three, and me and him are just talking about all these like movies and stuff, or like other podcasts and stuff, and you're just like quiet because you don't want to get sucked into buying more movies and break your 9 movie purchase rule this year.
Him and I went to the Exchange tonight, and there was some kind of cool stuff that had been traded in. There was probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 Twilight Times, which is a defunct label.
Yeah, they're not around anymore.
And there was a part of me that was just like, if I was blind buying stuff, in some of the movies I had seen, but if I was just buying whatever, I would have just bought I would have bought like the 6 Twilight Time movies just to own them. But I'm just like,
I think the Phantom Thread Blu-ray that I have is from them. I could be wrong about that.
Really? Phantom Thread?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of it.
I'll double check in a break, but
I guess I thought that Twilight Time was already gone by the time that movie came out. But I
could be wrong. I could be wrong.
My sense of time, Keith, especially because I'm pretty sure that was a pre-pandemic movie, and my sense of time from 2020 on is just like completely warped. I feel like I'm living in that post Thanos snapping his fingers universe where everything's just like weird and half the planet disappeared and nobody knows what the hell's going on. I really like all of a sudden every celebrity got like way older. It all of a sudden happened over the pandemic. I was an old person now. I was young before then. Now I'm old. I've never recovered from this.
Well, I guess in your whirlwind of busyness, did you go to the movie theater at all?
I did go to the movies, Keith, and I saw. I talked about it last episode that Lindsay and I had a little bit of a deal, which was if we went to see whatever the Yorma Tacoma movie was that I can't remember the name of now with Samara Weaving. I talked about it last episode, but I said if we went to see that, I wanted to go see Mother Mary with Anne Hathaway. And we did go see it, and I don't know if excited is the right word, but at least thinking that it was going to be like up my alley and totally for me. But I wasn't really that into it. I gave it 2.5 stars, and Lindsay was like, I feel like that's a little harsh. And she does not like Anne Hathaway. So
really?
Yeah, she's not a big Anne Hathaway gal. And she felt like I was too harsh on it. I mean, I think she gave it 3 stars. She didn't think it was great. But I just wasn't really vibing with it. It wasn't really clicking for me. And this is tough because it's about Anne Hathaway is a pop star. And the other girl in it is makes dresses or whatever. Is like sort of like a tailor or whatever for like a high-end fashion creator. And it just seems like that combination should be, for me, in as many ways as you can imagine. And I just didn't think it was all that great. I didn't think the execution was that strong. By the way,
I don't even really know what it's about. I saw like a quick teaser with Anne Hathaway in some insane outfit, but I really have no idea what the movie's about.
By the way, Over Your Dead Body was the Yorma Tacoma movie that I already forgot the name of, which I do think... I was also telling Zach about that tonight. I'm like, saying that I thought it was surprisingly... I don't know if it was surprisingly good, but it was better than I thought it was going to be, in my opinion. Mother Mary is like this weird... I don't know. The music was all done by, inspired by, it worked on by like a combination of FKA Twigs, Charlie XCX, Jack Antonoff or whatever. And there's this interesting demonic underbelly to it or something. Maybe not. Maybe demonic's not the right word. Definitely ghost. I don't know. There's a
So
whole.
the IMDb description says it's long buried wounds rise to the surface when iconic pop star Mother Mary reunites with her estranged best friend and former costume designer on the eve of her comeback performance. So it's like she's a pop star,
Yeah.
and it's.
I mean, the
a
one thing that I was
thriller?
really relating to was the character is certainly like super burnt out, and I was like, yeah, I've been there. You know, not quite on the pop star level, but I do understand that feeling, and I felt like Anne Hathaway portrayed it well. It was directed by David Lowery, who I don't know that I'm. David Lowery to me is someone who seems like I should really like, but I feel like it's never quite worked for me. And I don't know if you know him by name, but I certainly know you know his work because he did The Green Knight.
Oh yeah, he directed a ghost story too. I really liked that.
Yeah, that
Ghost
actually
Story.
might be my favorite movie of his, pretentious as it may be.
I mean, I would say that movie's kind of sad. Yeah, some people would probably say that it's pretentious a little bit, but I thought
That
it
was
was cool.
that I talked about it on the show. That was the meditative poem on the enormity of time movie.
Yeah, yeah, that's an accurate description.
But he also directed Ain't Them Body Saints, which I never actually watched. That was the precursor to A Ghost Story because it also had Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck in it. But I just sort of feel like I should really be into this director, but it's never quite all worked for me.
Yeah,
You like The Green Knight, right?
I enjoyed The Green Knight. Yeah, I
So
watched it in the theater and then I bought it and watched it again, and I liked the like fantastical elements of it. How it was like a little bit like it was
Yeah.
grounded for the most part, but then there's like a bunch of weird shit with like giants and stuff.
Yeah, I also enjoy The Green Knight and appreciate it, but I do feel like it fell short of me really like loving it.
Yeah, I think I was more hyped than I enjoyed it. I guess maybe my expectations were a little too high for it based on the trailer.
Well, don't feel sheepish about it because I also saw it in the theater and I also do own it. So, but I don't know what it is with David Lowery. I just sort of feel like I appreciate him and I'm interested in what more he does, but I'm just not quite sure. I feel like the execution is at the level that 100% clicks with me.
I feel like he is like an A24 ass A24 movie maker.
Yeah, it does have that vibe. It does
Like-
have that vibe.
Like when people talk about disliking A24 movies for being like a certain specific hipsterish type thing, I feel like his movies kind of fall into that category, or at least the couple that I've seen.
I
But
think
I'm into it though, so
Yeah.
as noted many times, we like a little bit of pretentiousness.
Can I talk to you about one other movie?
Yeah.
I watched this on the plane and I didn't log it because I did fall asleep during part of it. And like I said, I was up at 4 a.m, so give me a break. I watched part of it. I watched a big chunk of it, fell asleep during part, and then woke back up for the ending. And a movie directed by Luca Guadagnino from 2025 called After the Hunt. Are you familiar with this at all?
I feel like I saw a trailer for this. Let me look it up real quick.
It stars Julia Roberts, the girl from The Bear, that Ayo Edaberry. I don't know how you pronounce her name. I should have practiced that. Damn it. I'm trying to practice pronouncing names. Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, yeah. I did see a trailer for this, but I haven't seen it.
So I thought that, well, first of all, it had like a $70 million budget and only made like 9.4 million. It was not a hit.
Oof.
Also,
Not good.
also not good reviews. But I didn't know anything really about it going into watching it. And I kind of was into it. I was like vibing with what it was going for. It's an uncomfortable movie. it sort of reminded me of Eddington thematically without all the frenetic energy, like a way more subdued, like, version of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one of these, any side that you try to take is uncomfortable. Like, you can't really be on anybody's side in the movie because it's questionable, and you would be attacked for whichever side you choose to be on. And it takes place like a few years back. I don't want to spoil the stuff that happens in the movie, but one thing that I think I can say that made me be like, whoa, like, because it takes place, I don't know, a few years back, and then at the end of the movie, it's a jump in time. But the jump in time is to when, like, Meta is announcing ending their diversity inclusion program or whatever. And you're like, oh, it's like you go from, like, the super woke era to the more current era where everybody's, like, acting, acting a fool. But, like, that ties into, like, the way that the characters are reacting to the events around them. I kind of thought it was good and well executed, but people are not into it. The reviews are not good. And, but I think
maybe was it a little too real for people, you think?
I'm not sure. I don't know what it is. I guess people didn't think it was well executed, but I sort of feel like of the past 10 years or so, Luca Guadagnino is one of the really interesting, good directors to me. I'm starting to think that he might be like a top 5 for me in terms of just people that I've followed from the last 2015 on time period. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like him more than David Lynch or Spielberg or Christopher Nolan or whatever, but from just directors that I've only been following for the past 10 years, I'd put him in the top 5 of that. For those
I'm looking at his list of movies he's directed, and the only one I've seen is Bones and All, but I really like that one. So
well, I like
think
Bones and All. I love Call Me by Your Name. And
yeah, I still haven't seen that.
I also like his Suspiria, weird as it is.
Yeah, I need to see that. I like the original Dario Argento Suspiria, so I need to watch
It's a completely like weird, different take on the same type of material. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's wild. You do need to watch his Suspiria.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a failure since I haven't seen that yet.
No, well, like, in one sense, you might hate it because it's so not the Dario Argento one. Mm-hmm. But in another sense, it's such a crazy, aspirational take on the same material and doing it completely different because...
Are there witches in it?
There are.
Okay.
And Argento's is, like, so vibrant and... the bumping score by Goblin, which, by the way, I have, downstairs on vinyl. And it's so distinct, the filmmaking of that. And this is like the opposite because all of the color palette is like super muted. Okay. So it's almost like it's doing that intentionally. It feels like to just be the opposite.
Being its own thing. Yeah.
But it's intense. And like the last 20 minutes or so was so insane. One of the most insane feelings I've ever experienced in the theater. His Suspiria. Okay, so what did you see in the theater, Keith?
I saw Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Being the massive Mortal Kombat fan that I am. I think that my expectations were a little high for this. Considering, I think when I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes before we went, the audience score was at like 90%, and it was getting... Oh. And I think the critic score was like 60%, which was like, for this movie, for Mortal Kombat 2, the critic score is 60%. I haven't looked at it since. We saw it, when did we see it? Last weekend. So it was pretty early, but I was only hearing good things, and I feel like that maybe got me a little bit too excited for it.
I also saw that people were liking it so much so that I went and watched Mortal Kombat 1. The
90s one or the last one?
The one that's part of this current iteration. I watched.
What did you think about that one from like a couple of years ago?
Keith, you know how much it kills me to disappoint you.
And you didn't like it.
I really did not. I didn't. Well, first of all, I got off on the wrong foot with it right out of the gate because I did not like that they invented a character for it.
Yeah. See, I actually kind of, I think when I first watched it, I wasn't that into it, but I kind of, the more I thought about it, the more I like the Cole character. He's like the son of Scorpion, and Scorpion's like one of the coolest characters in all of Mortal Kombat. So I kind of liked what they did with that because it was so different from like the 90s one. And I think that's why people didn't really like it that much because one of the major complaints was there was no tournament. So in this one, part of the reason why I think people liked it so much is because it's so video gamey and there's the whole tournament. And so far as like, it's so video gamey that like there's literally these like diamonds floating in the sky as the tournament's going on. And like when one character dies or gets beaten, that light goes out. So it's like, it literally looks like a video game.
Oh, wow.
So they're really trying to cram home the, fan service with this one. I also didn't like in this new one, the version of Johnny Cage that they came up with. So,
well, I was also bummed that he wasn't in the first one.
Yeah, but they tease him at the end of that one. I do like the actor Carl Urban. Me and my wife are watching The Boys right now.
Yeah.
And I think I was kind of expecting, because he plays like a cocky asshole in The Boys, I was expecting him to be a cocky dickhead like he is, like Johnny Cage.
Yeah, that's what you expect
in the 90s. He's supposed to be like, he's a movie star who's just really full of himself, and that's just like how I've always seen Johnny Cage, and I think he worked in like the 95 one,
Same. Even though I don't even know who that actor is that plays him in.
Yeah, I can't remember. He's not in much else other than that. I can't think of his name right now either.
I love that 95 one though.
Oh yeah, same dude. I showed you in the last episode that I literally have like a movie video store standee of Liu Kang in my room down here now.
Just the filmmaking of the 90s, I have such a nostalgia for.
I know. Just like all the practical effects, like the fact that they made a suit for the Goro guy, the dude with like the 4 arms.
Definitely.
And like even the crappy like Sub-Zero fights with all the terrible CGI, it has its charm. Like there's a period in there in the 90s where, and like the reptile character is made out of 3D too, and like this stuff looks terrible, but I mean
some stuff, but other stuff like I like the on location type sets that they have in the first one too.
Yeah,
like the stuff on the beach is cool, but also, is it Scorpion that fights in the woods?
Yeah, that fight is awesome. Him
It
and
looks
Johnny
really
Cage,
cool too, with like it's like the symmetrical trees that are all in like.
Yeah, that's probably another thing that I didn't really like about this new one is, well, it was cool that they brought in a bunch of like classic stages from the games. Like you see like the acid pit. I think that was in the trailer, so I don't think that's like a spoiler or anything. But and then there's like a bridge, and then there's one with a huge. It's like a temple with a big purple like. I don't even know, like warp zone thing behind him. And it looks like a modernized version of the stages from the game, but it just totally looks 100% CG. Like it looks like somebody typed it into a prompt with like an AI program to make it.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But I didn't finish my point about Johnny Cage. So
please
old Johnny Cage we like because he's a jerk. The new Johnny Cage, he's like this old washed up guy with zero confidence.
I don't like this.
And it was just not fun. Like, I don't know. A lot of the fights were really cool, and there's some gruesome fatalities, which is what people want, I guess, with a Mortal Kombat movie. But I wasn't that into it.
Yeah, I'm surprised though. I kind of thought that you would be in no matter what.
Yeah, and I also was drinking some Shaq beatboxes. Have you ever seen the Shaq beatboxes? And I saw it with 2 of my buddies. And it was just kind of hard to pay attention to the story, too. So, I don't know. I'll watch it again when it comes out on Blu-ray or something. I'll still buy it, even though I didn't really like it that much, just because I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. But
yeah, I get it. I do wish... I don't know. I think you can at least understand why I'd be in the camp of not really caring for... creating a new character for something like this.
Yeah, no, I totally understand why. I think I was even in that camp too until I recently rewatched it, just in preparation for this new one. And I was like, I kind of like the fact that they at least tried to do something new here. And I love how the last one opens with the Sub-Zero versus Scorpion thing, and he kills Scorpion's family, and it's like,
I liked that too. I did like the opening. The opening made me feel like I was going to be more into
in
it
for
than
something
I was.
great, yeah.
And then slowly over, as it went on and on, I was getting less and less into it.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously not like a high recommend from us, I guess, but I think it's all right. I don't know.
Oh, listen. If it's for you, I'm supportive.
Moving on. Did you get any physical media pickups? Probably not, right?
No, I'm doing good. I abstained. Even though I went to the exchange earlier, I made sure not to purchase anything.
All right. Well, I picked up the slack for you.
Thank you.
I got a lot of stuff to show real quick.
Lay it on me.
So first, Sweet Home. I posted this on Instagram, so I did watch this a couple days ago. What's that?
What is this?
So this is by one of my new favorite directors, Kiyoshi Kurosawa, the guy who did Cure and Cloud.
That's right.
And some other cool stuff. But this is one of his very early movies. This is from like 88 or 89, I think. It's basically just a haunted house movie. This film crew, or this TV film crew, goes to this mansion that's abandoned, and it used to be owned by a famous artist, and they're just going to make an episode of their TV show about this famous artist and a bunch of paintings that were left behind or whatever. And they just get haunted. It's not a great movie, but it was cool to see like an early movie by Kiyoshi Kurosawa.
What year?
And there are some really cool practical effects and monsters and stuff in it. But a really cool fun fact about this is the same year that this came out, the video game company Capcom made a Nintendo game also called Sweet Home.
Oh.
So it's like based on this movie. Fast forward to like, when did the first Resident Evil game come out? Like 98 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
That Resident Evil, the first one, started out as a remake of that game.
Oh, shit.
So the whole reason all of Resident Evil exists is because of this movie.
And what year is this from?
Like 88 or 89.
Okay, cool.
So
and
yeah,
Capcom made a game that long ago? For what generation system?
Yeah, for Nintendo. Like the OG original Nintendo, yeah.
Dang.
But actually that game didn't ever come out in America. It was like only in Japan.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's why we don't really know about it. But yeah, that was just a cool one. I don't know. Not really a heavy recommend, but I got it from, well, I found this copy on eBay, but it's by this company called Sloppy Second Sales.
Very good.
And they do like, I'm pretty sure these are like bootlegs. They're like movies that have not been released in America, I think, for the most part, but they have some really cool stuff, and they're really cheap. Like if you were to buy this brand new, it's like $10 off their website. So
I've been buying like some bootleg records too. That is just.
I don't see what's wrong with it, especially if it's a movie like this that's not available here.
Yeah,
like,
no, I know.
They're like doing a service for us.
Any way to get it? Yeah, Zach was talking to me about people doing bootleg VHSs.
Oh, there's a ton of those. I have some. Yeah. Death by VHS is really cool. He put out Barbarian VHS that I have, and that movie you can't even get.
I thought that was like
physical.
a licensed thing. I didn't realize that was.
No, he does license stuff now. Actually, I'm pretty sure he does actual legit licensed stuff now. But yeah, that's like a more recent thing. But yeah, that dude's cool. Check him out on Instagram or whatever. Should I blast through the rest of these real quick?
Yeah, please lay it on me.
So. Before we started recording this, we didn't think we were going to start recording because you were out having a good time. I was in the middle of watching this, Maniac Cop.
Dude, that's so weird. Zach was talking to me about this on the drive back. Oh, by the way, we went to Applebee's.
Oh, nice. You guys were getting drunk at Applebee's?
Yes. Casually having a few drinks, not getting drunk.
Oh, yeah.
But he was telling me that Nicholas Winding Refn was like supposed to be directing an adaptation of Maniac Cop for like the longest time or whatever, and it never happened.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'd definitely be into that. I only got like a half an hour into this, so I've never seen it before. This was a blind buy. I just thought it looked cool, and it has Bruce Campbell and Tom Atkins in it.
Oh, sweet. Two legends.
It's literally just like about this cop who's murdering people at random. Tom Atkins is a detective trying to find the cop, I think. And Bruce Campbell plays a cop, and I don't know where it's going yet, so I don't know if he's the killer or if they're like toying with him, maybe, being a red herring or what, but I'm only half hour in, but it seems cool. So
this feels like we're going to have future Maniac Cop content.
Yeah, it's pretty fun so far. Yeah. So, and there's a couple sequels to this too, so I'm like already looking at getting those.
Please. Yeah, absolutely. Bring it on.
And real quick, the rest of these I haven't watched yet. They're all from Barnes & Noble has 50% off on foreign release films and also Vinegar Syndrome or everything from OCN, which is their
I'm having to abstain right now, and it's
this is the stuff that me and Zach were talking about in the group chat, and you were just being silent because you didn't want to get that itch.
Well, listen, it still haunts me that I didn't get that Radiance 4K of Cutter's Way. Like,
oh yeah, I heard Sean Fennessy and them talking about that movie, and now I really want to get it.
Oh, dude, I really enjoy Cutter's Way, and I have a sweet Blu-ray of it, and it's like, do I really need to upgrade? No, but is that cover art super sweet? Yes.
Is that Cinematograph doing that?
No, that's Radiance is
Radiance is okay, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, so I got the Pusher trilogy for like $15.
Oh yeah.
I know.
What a steal.
I think Second Sight put out like a nice hardbox version of this, and I kind of wanted that. And I've even had it like in a cart before, and just was like, I can't spend that much money. But for $15, I'll take 3 movies by Nicholas Winding Refn that I haven't seen yet, starring Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's like a drug dealer. Haven't seen him, but they sound really cool.
Listen, the exorbitant amount that we're willing to pay for just one movie at this point.
Yeah, that felt like armed robbery getting 3 of them for $15.
Totally with you.
Dude, actually, funny story real quick too. The day that I picked all these up, when I was flipping through, I also saw a 4K copy of Constantine, which I think you brought up in like our last episode. The Keanu Reeves Demon Hunter movie from the 2000s. And the sticker on it said $5. And I took it up there when I had this other stack, and the lady was like, when she rang it up, it was like $25 or something, and I was like, I don't want that. I figured that sticker was wrong or whatever. I should have put my foot down though and been like, listen, lady, this sticker says $5.
Sell it to me for that, or I'll burn this store down.
If you were in that situation, would you have put your foot down and been like, please, can I have this for $5?
No, I'm a pushover. I would have just ended up paying the $25 and then like stewed about it in my car and been like, why did I think that this was $5? I'm such a fool.
That's exactly what I did.
Did you do that?
I was like, man, I feel like such a pussy that I didn't speak up. But
yeah, I know. It is a shame.
But speaking of pussy, these dudes are not pussies. Sean Penn, Christopher Walken. This movie I've heard is awesome. At Close Range. This is Cinematograph.
Dude, I've got the chunky box.
You got the nice box, yeah.
Yeah. But it is a sweet movie, and it also has a Madonna song in it that's absolutely a banger.
Hell yeah. And Zach also was recommending this too, I think. So I was like,
yeah, well, guess what? They had that at the Exchange tonight, and I was like stunned to see it. They had the big
box.
Yeah.
I was so bummed when I went there. So I learned about the sale on Instagram, and I was like, oh, dude, they're doing Vinegar Syndrome and Cinematograph. Like, what if they have the big chunky boxes? They didn't have a single slipcover to be seen.
Yeah.
They give Barnes & Noble the scraps.
Well, I'm like so committed to Cinematograph that if I'm buying one of their movies, it's definitely going to be the big one.
The nice chunky box, yeah.
Yeah. Live to Tell, by the way, is the Madonna song in At Close Range, and it's an absolute banger and a heavy recommend for me.
Hell yeah. All right, so this one will probably come up on the show again. we just talked about Abel Ferreira and Harvey Keitel teaming up for Bad Lieutenant. This is another Harvey Keitel and Abel Ferreira movie, Dangerous Game. And I think Madonna is in this too.
I think I have that too. I have that, but I haven't watched it. It's a blind buy.
Yeah, also have not seen it. And yes, Madonna is in this too. But this is about a dude making a movie, I think.
Oh, you love to see it.
And, Harvey Keitel and Abel Ferreira. So in the same time period, 93.
Wow. Yeah. Right after. Right.
So they must have liked working with each other. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
What an uplifting experience I'm sure that was.
This one looks like it's probably a little bit more fun than Bad Lieutenant.
Okay, good. Although I did enjoy Bad Lieutenant quite a bit, even though it is a hard watch. It's like I can't explain it. Like it's just I appreciate it.
Yeah, just a lot of self-destructive behavior happening.
I mean, do I want to watch it again anytime soon? No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough watch, but I do enjoy it and I do appreciate it. All of those things can be true at the same time.
And the last one I have here, I don't really know anything about this one. I kind of just picked it up because Zach recommended it. Welcome to Red Rock West.
Oh yeah,
or
Red
it's just
Rock.
called
I have
Red
that
Rock
too.
West. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched this one?
I have 2 copies of it. I was going to give one to Shane, but I haven't seen him in so long.
Oh, we should have given it to me, dude. Dang.
Yeah, really. I didn't know. I didn't know Zach was out here recommending it to you. I could have said, "Let me take that out of Shane's stash and ship it to Keith."
But yeah, all I know is Nicolas Cage is in it.
It's kind of one of those like '90s neo noir movies. It's similar to what we were talking about, The Hot Spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a cousin of The Hot Spot.
Okay. And
are you getting that Hot Spot, by the way? Because it's sweet.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
I already have a Blu-ray of it, and some of these movies, like I can't upgrade all this stuff,
Okay. All right. I'm not going to grab it because we're already like 40 minutes in, but real quick, the movie that I sent you a picture of that I picked up today on DVD at the used bookstore
Oh, please.
is called A Bridge Too Far from 1977.
That's right.
It's a World War II movie, and listen to this cast real quick.
Yeah.
Sean Connery, Ryan O'Neal, Michael Caine, Gene Hackman. The list goes on. There was other big recognizable names, but that alone, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No, I mean, I do know. I've never seen A Bridge Too Far, but I do know of it to be a big, well-known, like, big cast movie. Yeah.
I'd never even heard of this movie. I just picked it up randomly and looked at the back and was like, holy shit. The dude from, oh God, now I'm having a brain fart. What was that movie? The Jackal, Day of the Jackal. Yeah. That dude's in it too. Can't think of his name.
I don't know that actor's name. Even from Day of the Jackal?
Yeah, we talked about that like on an early episode.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you assigned it to me. I just don't even know. I don't know that actor's name.
I don't either. I don't know. I just saw him in the trailer and was like, oh, that dude.
All these people plus the guy from the Day of the Jackal.
Yeah.
The Jackal.
Yeah, but dude, Gene Hackman, Michael Caine, Sean Connery, Ryan O'Neal.
What's not to like?
That's enough for me. Okay, that's everything that I picked up, and we're well into the episode already. Should we take a break and come back for our blind buys?
Please, quick break.
Okay, we're back. And speak of the beatbox, and it shall appear.
I love it.
These things are 11% alcohol, and I could only handle 2 of them in the movie theater. So I saved
that
one.
Seems like it would. I mean, that would knock me out. I've reached the point where if I'm ordering a beer somewhere, I look at like the percentages and I'm like, please 5% or less.
Yeah, so this is what we were drinking when we watched Mortal Kombat 2.
Well, I'm just going with the old limoncello LaCroix.
Okay.
So
for your in the shrink wrap, you watched Lake Mungo.
Yeah, well, I think we both deliberately picked a still in shrink wrap this week, which is rare. The segment is meant to be blind buy or still in shrink.
That's true.
Still in shrink wrap, right? And generally speaking, we both pick blind buys, but we just did a whole episode on blind buys, And you said you were going with something still in shrink wrap, and I was like, that's a good idea. I should do a still in shrink wrap too. And I went with my Second Sight, which is just, by the way, I mean, Second Sight is just top notch with their packaging and everything.
The best, yeah.
Some of my prized possessions, I would say, are Second Sight.
Two releases that I want probably more than anything else, but they're just astronomically priced on the secondhand market. The Dawn of the Dead big box.
Oh yeah.
And the Drive big box too.
I got the Drive one. Yeah, it's sweet.
Those are like in the multiple hundreds of dollars
Yeah.
range on eBay.
I love like the Nice Guys too. That one's awesome. I don't know. They're just deluxe packaging is so good. I'm on record obviously that I love Criterion and I really enjoy Cinematograph quite a bit, but it's just like the cream of the crop, I feel like, of just the big deluxe packaging for me is Second Sight.
Yeah. That Green Room one too. It Follows.
Yeah. I got
Their selection is impeccable. It's so good.
Totally. So they put out a lesser known movie, but a kind of that has a cult following, I would say. And I have been sitting on it in shrink wrap forever. And by the way, Keith, got rid of the overhead light and went with the lamp lighting. And I do think that this is far superior. I need to just go with this from now on.
It suits the halfway to Halloween vibe.
I'm holding up for the camera Lake Mungo, which is sort of this quasi documentary style movie that but it is documentary style, but it does have like real kind of cinematic moments too. It's, how do you explain it? Because the characters in the movie are all portrayed like through a documentary style, through interviews.
It's kind of like Hell House, if you've seen Hell House.
No.
Or the new Shelby Oaks movie that we talked about a little bit. I saw that in the theaters. That was like directed by a YouTuber, Chris Duckman. I watched this movie, Lake Mungo, a couple years ago, and I actually didn't really like it that much.
I saw your review on it, that you were kind of down on it.
I liked it a little bit more on this rewatch. I did
what?
end up rewatching it, but...
Can I just say, I read what you wrote, and I totally get it. Because I do think if you want to be critical of this movie, there's a lot of underdeveloped ideas. They kind of like...
Yeah.
It does take... You said this, but it takes a lot of twists and turns that you're like, okay, and then just moves on to the next... a twist, like next twist and turn. Like
it's like I feel comfortable like talking about some of these twists.
Yeah,
like it starts out with the brother of the girl who died, kind of like playing these tricks on his family and making it seem like there's a ghost in their house, and then that just ends suddenly. I feel like the movie spends like 30 to 40 minutes on that, and then it switches to the fact that the girl who died is like in like a throuple weird sex thing with their neighbor,
and that is super underdeveloped too. I think it's a shock when that happens.
Yeah,
but then there's like almost no follow up to it.
Yeah, I saw somebody else's review on Letterboxd saying this was like Twin Peaks, but
the girl's name is Alice Palmer, and the girl from Twin Peaks is Laura Palmer.
Yeah, I was getting what he was putting down with that review, though. I was like, I guess I kind of see it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I do think that there's definitely some influence there, but I can watch this, and it does give me that weird, like, chills feeling.
I will say, yeah, on this rewatch, I was watching it in the basement with by myself, with the lights out, and I was getting goosebumps a little bit here and there, because, like...
It reminds me of... like when we were kids watching Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
That feeling, like
it does a good job of selling the fake documentary. I'll say that.
But even like the shots that don't feel documentary, when they're just doing like shots of like the streetlights and off to the mountains and everything that look more like it's shot for a real movie. I think that stuff looks like really good, and it's just like woven into the documentary.
Yeah,
style.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that stuff does look good.
So I don't know. It's just it will always kind of stand apart as a little unique horror. It's hard to even say that it's fully horror. It always gets lumped into the horror genre. I feel like it is kind of a ghost story,
Yeah.
not like David Lowery's a ghost story, but it is a bit of a ghost story. But it does leave you feeling just eerie and a little unsettled, but also unfulfilled. And I think that's intentional.
Yeah.
I think that's why they give you these little nuggets of like it's going in one direction and then goes another direction and then it never goes back to the direct, like it never circles back. And you're like,
Yeah.
wait, isn't there more with the
Yeah.
fact that like she was sleeping with the neighbor couple? Isn't there
Yeah, I
more
feel like
than
it's
that?
I feel like it's trying to say something about grief maybe where it's like it kind of
Definitely.
never ends. It's just like you'll go through different phases of grief kind of is kind of like how I was reading it, but
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do think that a lot of the movie is just about dealing with grief and trauma from probably like
the
the
loss of a
tragic
child
loss.
or a
Yeah, tragic
sister or
loss of a
whatever,
loved
family
one or
member.
whatever, and how you can never really recover from this,
Yeah.
and how the things that you go through in your own journey of trying to come to terms with it and explain things and rationalize things. It is, I think, maybe one of the big peak quality moments of the movie. I think there's probably certain people that would be in the camp of like, that's terrible, that's stupid. But I think it's one of the better parts is how the son had been putting these digital images into the footage to make it seem like they were seeing her ghost. And then you find out that that's not really happening. But then they freeze frame on one of those shots, and the neighbor guy is just in the house.
That was creepy too, yeah.
Right? I think that's one of the well executed moments. And I don't know, that floored me the first time I saw this, and I enjoy that element still. And it's just they just throw this whole other angle at you quickly, and you're in it briefly, and you're like, wow, this is messed up, and this girl had a little bit of a messed up life, obviously, but then they're just out of it, and they're like, yeah, nothing happened to that couple because it was consensual.
I feel like on a like maybe one of the darker other like sub themes is probably just about how like you don't ever really fully like know someone even if they're like in your family, because like the whole bit about the brother being deceptive and doing all this stuff, it's like the parents kind of were being tricked by him, you know, thinking that they knew him and could trust him or whatever. And the same with her when you find out about this like double secret life she was having. It's like you never really fully know someone. Like everybody has their own private lives.
The packaging in this is just so sweet. It's one of these things that like I mean, I don't know how many chunky box type situations that I have that come with like a little booklet and everything, but I mean there's like all sorts of like pictures and like actual, I don't even know what the writing is that's in this. I mean, I don't know if this is,
those are great.
Just more
Did
detail.
you read that booklet?
No, I don't know that I've ever read any of the booklets for any of these things.
You better watch out. Bearded Film Guy's gonna come after you. He's always like, I'm in a group chat with him. He's one of my buddies, but he's like, we make fun of him because we call him the Bearded Booklet Guy because he's like, dude, if you don't read your booklet, why'd you buy that?
Well, I do appreciate them. I
think
like
they're cool too. I've never really read through any of them either.
I like to think that someday I will, but I haven't gotten there yet. I mean, I have that.
I just don't have the time, to be honest.
Sure. I mean, I'm like right now, I finally finished Wonder Boys, the book, and now I'm reading the Inherent Vice book.
I did start reading, two of them I did start reading, but I never got all the way through. The Warriors, I have the special edition from Arrow Video, and that was like really interesting, the essays that I was getting into. And what was the other one? Oh, when Reanimator came out, before we did our episode, I read through some of that booklet, and that had some cool little nuggets too.
Well, do you have the Picnic at Hanging Rock Criterion?
No, but I know that's a thick boy.
It comes with the book.
Yeah.
It's like here
they don't
like,
typically put booklets in there. They'll put like real thin little ones.
But this one just is like the Penguins Classic book. It's
it's like the whole book. Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't read that, but I would like to. I mean, Picnic at Hanging Rock also, I would say in the Lake Mungo, Twin Peaks. If you're finding a connective tissue, there's one that exists throughout. That, like, they're all in the same family, I think.
Yeah. Does that do it for Lake Mungo?
I think so. I guess I saw that you had not liked it in the past, which I do get, because I think the things that you were critical of, I can totally understand, and even I have that. I do have a little bit of that experience with some of the way that it's put together, but overall, I lean towards really enjoying the experience, and I love the way that it makes me feel, because I have a really hard time recreating that feeling.
Being scared. Yeah.
Yeah. From
yeah, I'll give it that too. I definitely was, like I said, getting goosebumps, and even us just kind of like talking about the themes a little bit. It's making me like the movie a little more.
And scared isn't even the right word. It's like eerie. Like,
yeah, unsettling.
The best way I can say it is it makes me feel like when I watched Unsolved Mysteries when I was a kid, which it would just give me those like weird, like chills up the back of my spine.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of that is the documentary style, because it does a really good job of making you forget that you're watching a movie. It feels like you're just watching a documentary. And also, like, the shitty, grainy, low quality of a lot of the footage. It's one of those things where so much stuff is in shadow that your mind kind of fills in the blanks a little bit, and it's just that look and feel, along with the sound design too. I think the sound design was really good.
Also, yeah, I should say, we didn't really hit on it. I talked about the second sight, like packaging and everything. This is a great 4K. Like,
yeah,
this looks really good for something that was obviously low budget.
Yeah, I think I just watched it on Amazon, Shudder, maybe. I don't remember what.
And the guy who directed this, I don't know his name. He really didn't do anything else, and that adds kind of to the mystique.
Yeah,
I think a couple years ago he was a executive producer or something on that Late Night with the Devil movie.
Oh yeah,
but that was like the first thing that he was even involved with in cinema in like 15 years or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like this is one of those movies that maybe didn't really pop when it first came out, and when Second Sight released that, I think people started paying attention to it.
Yeah, Zach was always a big champion for this movie, so it was on my radar. I remember it being on, like, I don't know if you remember when like FearNet was a thing. It was like a channel or whatever, and like in the early days, like kind of pre-streaming, when it was like channels on demand, like FearNet was like one that would put like a bunch of like, kind of like how Shudder is now.
Yeah,
like a bunch of random horror movies on, like Lake Mungo was the type of movie that would like pop up on there.
Yeah.
So
okay,
that's Lake Mungo. Incredible packaging. I don't want to say underrated movie, but certainly like understated.
I think it definitely has a cult following. I've seen a lot of 5-star, 4.5 ratings for it and stuff. A lot of people talk very highly of it.
So Keith, what did you bring for your still and shrink wrap this week?
So mine was a movie that I had obviously seen as a kid, but it had been a long time. And I bought this movie in the Shocktober sale like 2 years ago. And I talked about this a little bit in the very first video I ever did on YouTube. It was like in a pickups from that order or whatever. It's John Carpenter's Vampires.
Let me tell you something about this movie, Keith. I had never seen it, and Zach and I went to a classic movie night where they were playing it on the big screen, and that was my first experience with it, and I was like, oh.
I couldn't imagine watching this at a theater for the first time, especially with an enthusiastic crowd, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
at a showing like that.
Half enthusiastic. It was like a half full theater.
Okay.
But it was
I would have been enthusiastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because in one sense you could be like, this is John Carpenter on the downturn. Like, this is him doing... This
and Ghosts of Mars were kind of like the nail in the coffin for him. I don't think this did that well.
You can... I feel like you can tell that he doesn't really have it for this one, you know?
Yeah.
But I like it still. I know that sounds like a bad thing, a horrible thing to say, but it's... You can just... I just feel like you can... There's that feeling like he doesn't really... This ain't John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, this is definitely like mid to lower tier. I would put this like mid tier Carpenter for me, honestly.
In terms of my enjoyment, I absolutely agree. Like I enjoy it quite a bit, but there's a quality level of it that almost feels like trending into like made for sci-fi TV movie.
I was literally just gonna say that it almost feels like a TNT movie or something like me. Probably didn't
like
have
James
the budget
Woods
that he
is
did.
the lead, you know.
Yeah, I love James Woods though, and
Well, that's
Daniel
because he's in
Baldwin.
Videodrome.
Oh yeah, his character is like the cocky '90s
Yeah.
dickhead though, like, and this is kind of like edgelord '90s
Well, and
vampires.
you know who the girl is in this, right?
She's from Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah, it's Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks. It's Cheryl
Right.
Lee.
Yeah. She's the one who gets bitten by the main big leader vampire dude.
It's always interesting with these vampire movies, and this is a good tie-in, obviously, with Blade. You're always trying to figure out what the what the mythology, folklore, what the vampire folklore is for whatever movie that you're in.
Yeah, they all kind of have their own rules as far as like what the vampire's weaknesses are and where they came from
And how they act together.
yeah. I like the lore of this one though. I feel like isn't it like the Catholic Church created vampires in this one and
Yeah,
the
that
main
seems
dude.
right. I mean, you watched this more recently than I have, so
Well, it's been like 2 weeks now, I think,
Well, that's
since I
true.
watched it. So
Yeah.
my memory's a little fuzzy. But I do really like I'm not the biggest fan of the gothic, like Hammer horror
Yeah.
era of vampire stuff, like early Dracula,
I am with
Universal
you.
Monster type stuff. I definitely like the 90s Blade and John Carpenter's vampires, stuff like that a little more. It's just more fun,
Yeah.
more our era, a little bit more modern.
I mean, I do like Coppola's, like Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Uh-huh.
I like that one, but yeah, like these ones are fun as hell.
Yeah. I just love the 90s cheese and it like I love it's not even really a horror movie. It's kind of an action movie. Like
For sure.
I love how
feels
they're, like,
more
going
the
in there, like-
95 Mortal Kombat. Like
I know, yeah.
vibe-wise, yeah.
It's just fun. I don't know. Like James Woods his weapon of choice is a crossbow and the crossbow looks like it was taken from an alien spacecraft. It's just this insane looking thing, like with a massive
There was
scope on
something
it.
going on in the 90s with like the way we viewed technology and like futuristic technology. Like
Yeah. And I love the whole idea of this just group of vampire hunters who are all like working for the church and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a really fun movie. It's not
And like doesn't it half of the crew or whatever gets like taken out like in the beginning, right?
Yeah, they do. It's really funny, actually. They have a priest as like part of their crew, and I think he gets killed in the beginning too. But they're having a party after in this like really crappy rundown motel,
Yeah.
and they're talking about having prostitutes brought in, and this priest is like getting drunk with them all,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're all just having a great time, and then what's his name, Valak shows up and murders like the whole crew besides Daniel Baldwin and James Woods.
That's right. Yeah, I know. It's they're very macho too, like Woods and Baldwin.
Yeah, a lot of very cheesy, very 90s. Some would probably say cringeworthy dialogue, but I think it's fun.
Some would probably say cringeworthy. Some would say absolutely incredible,
Yeah.
depending on which camp you're in.
Yeah. So if you're into the 90s, not even horror, this is an action movie, I think.
I'm
if
with
you're into
you.
that kind of stuff, I highly recommend it.
Great pick, Keith. I love it.
All right,
Okay.
should we take another quick break?
Quick break.
Okay, Matt, it's time for the main event. We're doing one of my faves from my childhood, Blade.
So I once again didn't get to write an intro, and I do plan on getting back on it and getting my life together and being able to really contribute into the show in a way that I meant to. But I didn't get to for this episode, and I think it's appropriate because we really want to be able to fly through this and just get some content out there. But If I did write an intro, it heavily was going to be about two things. One, that like this is my Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, give me Blade and like the first Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. Like,
I think this might have been the first successful Marvel movie.
it is funny because this movie was a big hit. Like, box office wise, this did good.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was going to be in my intro besides that was Steven Dorff and just how he's like a cult hero in music videos. He was in like the Alicia Silverstone. No, wait. Is that who it was? Yeah. She was in the like Aerosmith music videos in the 90s, and he was in the Crying music video. And then in like 2003, he was in Britney Spears' Every Time video.
Okay.
And it's two things, two Halloween costumes in mine and Lindsay's marriage in order for us to like complete our lives. One would be us going as Jay and Silent Bob, which we did. Two is we want to do Britney Spears and Steven Dorff from the Every Time music video.
I need to watch this immediately after we get done recording.
Please. Yeah, absolutely. You need to. Because Steven Dorff is like, they're basically playing like a Hollywood couple or whatever that's being followed by paparazzi. But it's like, they're just like flipping out. He's like kicking boxes and like, you know, grabbing the camera and throwing it or whatever. Like, I can't describe it to you in a way that you would think it's fun. You just have to watch it.
The only other thing that I really recognize him from is Sofia Coppola's, what was that movie called? Somewhere. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
I really liked that movie when it came out. It's been a really long time, but
I bought it like last year because it just had been so long since I watched it and I wanted to watch it again. So I just bought like a crappy Blu-ray of it. Plus I was reading a book about that hotel that is now, the name is escaping me. The one that he's staying at in the movie. It's like a famous Hollywood hotel that rich people and celebrities have stayed in.
I don't remember.
Okay, well, the movie opens up and we get this New Line Cinema logo with the red underglow. I mean, how much were you losing your mind just for that?
I mean, this is one of my favorite opening scenes to like almost probably any movie, the Blood Rave.
Wow.
It's so good.
Well, hold on. We didn't even get there yet, though. By the way, the Chateau Marmont, it just came back to me. I was drunk.
Okay.
Hotel.
Thank you.
That's where somewhere it takes place. So we start off in 1967 with at a hospital, and we have a pregnant woman with the neck bite. That's really the opening.
Okay. Yeah. I skipped over that.
Okay. Now let's get to the Blood Rave. This is so like late 90s. This everything. By the way,
My first note that I wrote down is the quote. The very first lines in the movie are, "What you got down there, little man? My little heat seeker." And the woman who is a vampire grabs the man's dick and balls.
I mean, everything about this, like, once we get to them walking through the meat factory or whatever this is to get to the back where the club is, but like all of this stuff is just reminding me of like late 90s filmmaking. It's like the choppy cuts, the techno music blasting.
Yeah.
And you want to know what I was getting a lot of similarities with? The first Matrix movie.
I wrote that down later. We'll talk about it again later, but I see a lot of similarities too. And this movie came out 1 year before The Matrix.
And it's like, you are just like, were the Wachowskis inspired by Blade? I mean, look, say what you want about what happened with the Matrix trilogy and then even the reboot that came back or whatever. But that first Matrix movie, I think is pretty undeniably like at least an impactful, well-made movie, right? Like,
yeah,
regardless,
that's like peak 90s.
Yeah, but it's like, did Blade inspire somebody? Like, I mean, maybe it was just the style of the time, but
yeah, I've never heard that. But there are a lot of similarities. A lot of techno dance clubs, a lot of black leather
jackets,
a lot of martial arts, kung fu stuff,
jumping
a lot of
across buildings. I mean, there's the part where they jump across buildings.
Yeah, a lot of rooftop stuff. There are a lot of similarities, and I love The Matrix too, as you know, probably shouldn't surprise anybody, but but the reason that I wanted to emphasize the very first lines in this movie is because, I mean, Disney has kind of veered more into the like R-rated territory stuff more recently with some of their TV shows and stuff, but this being Marvel's or one of their first successful movies, it's interesting just like where Marvel went into the kind of like PG-13 area. This movie is like hard R, I feel like.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I feel like if you're describing this movie to somebody, you probably wouldn't say like, oh, don't show it to a kid who's like under 12 or something, but there's a lot of stuff in this that's like sexually explicit and
definitely.
I mean, there's not like a ton of gore, but like in the blood rave, there's like blood everywhere and it like looks real. And there's a lot of, I don't know, dudes getting lit on fire and stuff. It's
some of the better
not for the
looking
kids.
It's some of the better looking stuff, I think, in terms of the action sequences. Because there's definitely some rough parts. I don't know where you are on the overall like CG in this movie, but it's sort of tough.
There's some goofy stuff, especially at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of more just talking about like the tone of the movie. Like it's an adult. It's meant for adults. Like this is not a comic book movie for kids.
By the way, I'm holding up the Blade 4K that you sent to me that does not count against the cap because Keith bought me this.
I also picked up the 4K. I don't know if I have it over here, but I do. But I was going to ask you if yours came with the slip, and I was going to be upset if yours did and mine didn't.
No slip. Slip free.
I got no slip
Slipless.
either. So continuing with the blood rave.
We meet. I mean, he Blade shows up and he's just killing zombies like crazy here.
I know it's funny. I was like, if you didn't know the context of this, it's like this dude just comes in to massacre all these people. Like if they weren't vampires, you know.
And we see Wesley Snipes, and you're like, oh yeah, Wesley Snipes, once a big star. Like what? And I guess this just happens. It's different for us because we were kids during the 90s, and I think you think that certain people that are leading men or leading women, you think that they're just going to be around forever, and it's like more often than not, that's not the case. People do have like windows of time where there's someone that's casting something, and then there's always like the Brad Pitts or whatever who are just like around forever.
Yeah,
but it's like Wesley Snipes was a big star when we were kids.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Demolition Man.
Yeah, I mean he was in Major League. Willie Mays Hayes. White Man Can't Jump. I mean he was just a guy who was in a bunch of stuff, but I think Blade Trinity or whatever is when it all started to go wrong.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording. I don't fully know the whole story of what happened with him going to jail or prison or whatever. I've heard that it was from tax evasion or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's right. And
so obviously there was a hiatus for that.
Sure. Yeah, hard to act in movies when you're in prison. But he has come back, and I mean I think he was in like one of the Expendables movie or something. He's made appearances again, but it's like he was a bankable name for a little bit. Like he was a guy, and then
he is one of the ultimate like 90s cool guys.
He did a little bit of the Nicolas Cage thing for a little while where he was doing like action movies that were like straight to VOD or whatever.
He was in that one movie we talked about, Boiling Point. Not great.
Yeah,
he was good in it though.
He wanted that, struck from the record. Yes, that's true. We meet Donald Logue, who I always know as the dad from Grounded for Life.
Is this Quinn, the like second in command vampire guy?
It's like the right hand man of the main villain, played by Stephen Dorff.
He's one of my favorite characters in this, just because he's so stupid, and Blade is just constantly beating on him.
Yeah, so Blade kills a bunch of other vampires, you know, just killing vampires like crazy, and then absolutely fries Quinn.
I love his little fist bump after he like stakes Quinn to the wall with his massive silver stakes. Blade just does this really funny like fist pump and smiles at the camera. I don't know. I just love
There
that
is a
part.
lot of like goofiness going on with everything, like winking at the camera type stuff. I don't know. Like, it was a somewhat bigger movie, but it does have like some similar mannerisms to like B horror, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it feels like we say this all the time, but if this movie had no budget, this would be like a drive-in movie.
No, totally. So I don't know that much of note happens after that in the club, but we do head over to the hospital where there's this weird. The relationship between the girl who we would come to know as Karen, I believe her name is. Mm-hmm. She was in this relationship with this other dude at the hospital.
Just another doctor or something, yeah.
They're having this whole weird conversation about their relationship, and all of a sudden Quinn's fried corpse reanimates.
Yeah, they're studying his blood or something. I don't know why they would do this for a presumed dead body, but she's looking at his blood under the microscope and she's like, what the hell? This is like, the blood cells are still moving. This dude's not dead.
Yeah, should we like briefly explain like what the Blade character is supposed to be? I mean, I was like talking about at the beginning. So the whole opening scene is that his mom was bit by a vampire, I guess, like just before she gave birth, and he is half vampire, I guess, because of that.
Yeah, I think the explanation is just the fact that his mom was bitten while he like right before he was born or something. So he inherited some of the traits or some of the strengths from vampires, but he's able to walk in the daylight still.
Is it supposed to be that without the serum he would be turning into a full-fledged vampire?
I'm not so sure on that. I think
the serum
just quenches his thirst. Like he doesn't need to drink blood.
It keeps him from wanting to like drink people's blood.
I think that's all the serum is for. Yeah.
Okay.
Although later on, Karen she comes up with a cure for herself because she's a doctor, scientist, hematologist. Is that what it's called? I can't remember.
Well, that seems about right.
But she comes up with this cure for herself, and she tells him, if you take this, you might lose your strength and all the good things that you get from being a vampire.
Yeah, you're going to have to be the resident Blade expert.
I'm fine with taking that time.
I have seen this movie before, but it's probably been 20 plus years since I mean, I watched it for this episode, and it had been a long time.
Okay. I don't consider myself an expert, but I'm a fan.
I was like trying to, I think I mostly followed everything, but the script is actually somewhat complicated. Like everything that Stephen Dorff's character, what is it, Deacon Frost?
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Everything that he's trying to do, I wasn't full. I mean, I get that he's trying to like take power, right, and get rid of like.
Yeah, he's basically trying to become the blood god. It's not really, it's goofy comic book stuff.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, there's a lot of talk of like, what is the thing that they keep saying? Like all I can think of is like La Madra or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the demon. There's like some demon name or something for it, but
La Magra.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Frost is very interested in La Magra, whatever that means.
Yeah. Before we move on, though, I do want to say this part in the hospital when Quinn wakes up. This part terrified me as a kid. Like the practical effects, the makeup on him, he looks like a freaking burnt hot dog.
Yeah, I think this looks really cool. This is maybe the best looking effect in the movie, the way that he looks. And
scary. I think it's not scary now, obviously, but as a kid, I was definitely scared of this. Like, he's 100% carcinogen.
And so the doctor gets killed, and Karen gets rescued. Does she get partially bit here? Is that?
Yeah, so Quinn, when he wakes up, he bites her as he's escaping, and Blade shows up and he says he's here to finish the job or whatever, which kind of doesn't really make sense because in the Blood Rave, he told him, he's like, I'm getting sick of cutting you up. So you get the idea that this is a recurring thing. They just keep fighting each other or whatever. But then he says he's there to, I don't know, stupid comic book movie stuff.
I don't get why he wouldn't have finished the job at the club.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, he clearly had the opportunity to totally kill him, but he decided to light him on fire and torture him instead.
So Blade and Karen go out onto the rooftop, and this is like one of the Matrix moments where they literally jump across. Rooftop.
Also, doesn't really make sense why a whole SWAT team would just show up immediately too. The cops just show up and they're just blasting.
Now, I do like that this is mostly taking place filmed in downtown LA.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Yeah, because there's different. Well, because that's the thing. Like when you're in downtown LA, you know, you're like, oh, we're by Skid Row. Like it's just a different vibe than a lot of other movies that take place in LA. Like, you know, somewhere when we're at the Chateau Marmont, it doesn't really look like this.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever say specifically what city they're in, but to me, for some reason, I always thought it was New York. But that would make sense though, because there's scenes later on at a beach, or by the water at least, or by the ocean. There's
one distinct skyscraper in LA that you can always tell that it's LA. It was a US bank building at one point. I don't know if it still is, but
okay. I don't think they ever explicitly say where they're at though. It's just, you know, unnamed city.
Yeah, and that may be intentionally so, but I don't know. The setting fits for the vibe of the movie.
For sure.
We do meet Chris Christopherson, which is awesome that he's in this, playing a character named Abraham Whistler, which is a fun name. I would love to have a
Whistler is a cool ass name.
Yeah, like just I need like a partner like this in my life, you know.
He's like a Q to 007 for Blade. Like he makes all of his weapons, and he kind of like has a bum knee, so he can't really fight too well. But
he's like Q mixed with Sam Elliott from Roadhouse.
Yeah,
Wade Garrett.
when we watched Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Oh yeah.
I think this might have been the only other Chris Christopherson movie I'd seen, Blade.
Yeah.
So
Chris Christopherson is in a lot of movies. He's in Lone Star too.
Was he bigger in like the 70s and 80s?
Yeah, he was a musician, so
okay. I don't know much about him.
He is in a ton of movies. I think he's in Heaven's Gate too.
Okay.
He's in a lot of movies. He was in not the original, but he was in the 80s A Star Is Born.
Okay. He's a good actor though.
Yeah. And he's I think pretty strong in this.
Yeah, he does a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to expositionary dialogue. Like there's a lot of him just telling you what's going on. He's kind of telling Karen the story of how he met Blade here, I think, and what their whole deal is.
That happened somewhere along the way. I feel like it's not until later though. They sort of unpack the storyline slowly.
Yeah, it's like there'll be an action sequence, and then there'll be some exposition where Whistler's explaining stuff, and then another action sequence, and then Whistler explains some more stuff.
Yeah, well, I did keep finding myself trying to put pieces together, and I'd ask myself questions, and then they would answer my question in the next scene or whatever, where I'd be like, if there's this, as people who watch a lot of movies, you get used to when reveals happen. Mm-hmm. Or when things are explained to you. And I feel like in Blade, it's sort of one step after when you expect it to happen. I kept having those moments where I'd be like, wait, do I know why this is happening? I should know why this is happening, right? And then they'd explain it in the next scene.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because I've seen it so many times that I don't really get that. But I think the movie overall is paced really well. Yeah. I think it does a good job of breaking up the action. And the scenes that aren't action aren't boring.
So the whole thing with this Deacon Frost character, played by legendary actor Stephen Dorff, who has never been seen again since the 2003 Britney Spears music video Every Time, which is an all-time banger. The whole thing with him is like he's not part of the committee of elder vampires who were all naturally born vampires, which I guess means their mom and dads were both vampires. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's not explained and a little strange because vampires aren't supposed to age.
And do they procreate?
Yeah, I don't know. They don't explain that too well. But yeah, Frost he was turned, so he's like part of this group of like elder council members.
Yeah.
But not fully.
He's an outsider. He'll always be an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they respect him, and he seems to be gathering a following, inspiring a following amongst other vampires. But they do look down on him a little bit. Blade, it's mentioned he's been building up an immunity to his serum. His whole relationship with the serum is a big part of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it leads up to the climax even.
Yeah. We already talked about it, but yeah, the serum he takes, I'm pretty sure, is just to kind of quench his thirst so he doesn't have to go around, killing people. Whistler at one point kind of tells the story about how they met. You never get a visual of this, but just hearing Chris Christopherson tell the story is kind of funny about how he met Blade when he was a teenager and he apparently was feeding on homeless people.
And he took him in, right? I mean, he was gonna kill him and be like, "Oh, well, it's a vampire, obviously." And then he realized that he wasn't a vampire. I wasn't fully buying this. Like,
yeah, maybe he saw him in the daylight munching on a homeless person or something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He thought he just had rabies or something.
Yeah.
So he kind of took him in and I guess raised him up a little bit and started building weapons for him. It's sort of like the first Ninja Turtles movie with April O'Neil, where they take her down to the lair and explain their backstory and everything. That's sort of what's going on.
Yeah,
with
Karen is April in this situation.
That's right. But then they just send her on her way.
Well, they technically send her on her way, but they're using her as bait.
That's right.
So they send her home, but they intentionally to kind of get one of Frost's familiars to come and I guess finish her off. I don't know.
Yeah, she goes to her apartment and a police officer shows up. Just a absolute nerd of a police officer.
Yeah.
I didn't write down the actor's name or anything. He kind of looked familiar. He is a familiar, and he looked familiar to me, but
yeah,
I didn't quite place it. But he is an absolute nerd, certified. We 100% are all lockstep in agreement on that fact, and he reveals to himself that he's there to, or he reveals to Karen that he's there to, I don't know, kill her, finish the job. Mm-hmm. And Blade shows up and whoops him.
Yep. Like a little baby.
And Karen is like not sure what to make of all this. She's like,
yeah,
I don't get it. You're like letting me in and then you're sending me on my way and now you're using me as bait. Like it does.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the plans all the time.
Another thing that I like about this scene is you learn that this is how Blade funds his operation as he steals watches and jewelry from the familiars and vampires. He takes a watch off this guy and then he's like, oh, this is fake, so I can't sell it. But I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, well, look. I mean, you got to keep the operation flowing. There's this whole discussion, and this was also reminding me of The Matrix. And this is the only quote that I wrote down, and I think I left some words out, so some of it's paraphrased, but it's essentially, the world you live in is sugar-coated. There is another world beneath it, the real world. And I'm like,
yeah.
What the hell? I mean, it just seems like...
That does seem more Matrix-y, for sure, yeah.
Listen, I want to be clear on something. There is no part of me that feels like this movie inspired the Wachowskis.
I mean, The Matrix had to have been written before this movie came out.
Totally, and I totally agree with it. That being said, it is weird. I mean,
yeah, I think that was just like the style at the time, It was like the cringy, Hot Topic, black leather, that was just a thing back then.
Well,
and the rave music and...
This was an earlier movie, but you want to know what also I was getting some vibes of? The Crow. Like the Brandon Lee The Crow movie. There's some similarity crossover with that too, I feel like.
I mean, just like the new metal edginess was just a part of the 90s. And I think that we were maybe a little too young at this point, because 98, I was only 10 years old, so I wasn't like... I mean, I liked these movies, but I wasn't going to raves, you know?
No, I was like afraid of raves from the time I was a kid through the rest of my... till now. I'm like still afraid of raves.
Are raves a thing now still, too, or no?
I think
don't
they've evolved into, you know...
It's like the EDM stuff now.
Yeah. And I don't think I ever would have been invited to a rave, and I don't think I'd ever be invited to like an EDM dance party. And you know what?
I don't think I'd enjoy it.
No. Like it just, I would probably pass out from just being overwhelmed. And so Frost and Blade end up in this sort of dynamic where they're pitted against each other. Not 100% sure why. Mm-hmm. Other than Blade is versus all the vampires, but I don't know like how we end up quite in the showdown between the two of them. Frost has this whole plan. What he's doing something with a computer, going through like the ancient vampire like books or language or something. I don't know, Keith.
So he knows about this
Lamagra.
blood god thing. Yeah. Not explained how he knows about it, but that's why he's, you know, in the archives studying this stuff, trying to figure out how to turn himself into this guy or whatever.
Easily accessible archives. I was thinking, I'm like, I mean, isn't this like early iterations of ChatGPT? It's like the computer's going through all these archives super quick and giving him whatever data he's looking for.
Yeah.
You love to see it. I get lost in some of this stuff, and the screenplay was written by David S. Goyer, who went on to do like Batman Begins, and I don't think he got screenplay credits for The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, but he gets story by credits. Like I think he was still in the mix for those two. So I think we're seeing some early iterations of trying to throw a lot into a script and have it all tied together, and I'm not sure that it works as well as maybe some of the stuff that he worked on.
I mean, like I said, I've watched this movie so many times, I kind of like know what happens, so I could see how it would be maybe confusing for somebody who hasn't watched this movie 100 times.
A lesser being like myself who just can't put all this. I can't process the information at the same rate that these computers are processing the information for Deacon Frost.
So this leads into another one of my favorite parts of the movie, though. So after this altercation with the familiar, he escapes because Blade and Karen are arguing, and so they kind of just stake out his car because the familiar has a bunch of blood bags or something in his car that he needs to transport to this other facility somewhere. And they wait for him. He comes back, and they follow him to this other club and beat him up again and find the entrance to get into the archives, which we've been talking about.
That's right.
And run into one of my other favorite characters, who's only in this for a very short time, but Pearl, the record keeper.
Yes, this scene stands out in the movie.
My wife Chris loves this part so much. She constantly quotes this, "Frost, you need me." When they're like torturing this guy, it's this huge blubber. I don't know if I'm pretty sure he's a vampire. No, 100% he's a vampire because they're hitting him with the UV light.
Pearly.
But he's just what?
Pearly is the name.
Is it Pearl or Pearly?
Oh, maybe it's Pearl. I wrote down Pearly. I don't know why.
It could be Pearly. I don't know.
But heavily overweight archivist vampire is what I wrote.
Yeah, down. Looks like hasn't moved in years. Just down there eating McDonald's or whatever vampires eat. I don't know.
I thought they were just supposed to drink blood.
Just blood. Yeah. How do you get that size if you're just drinking blood? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess just. Maybe there's like a fast food version of blood.
I just think it's so bizarre and goofy and weird. And the way that Pearl talks is so funny to me. I don't know. Me and my wife just like love Pearl.
Yeah, Pearl is great. And this scene does stand out amongst the rest of the movie. It feels like it's its own thing.
have you ever seen a 600-pound vampire before?
No, I haven't. And
No.
I'm glad that I finally have.
It's cool. I don't know. I like it.
So everyone is kind of coming to realize that Frost is interested in this Lamagra thing, and everyone's like, all right, we're going to stop him. This is not good. This is not going to be good. And I'm like, well, what does it mean? What's going to happen that's going to be different? Like, vampires are roaming the earth as it is. It seems like the elder vampires kind of want to live in some sort of secret, they don't want to be known, and they want to live in harmony with humans to some degree. And maybe that's because they want to be able to feed off humans without raising suspicions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Frost has a different philosophy. He kind of just sees humans as cattle or something. He says that at one point.
Yeah, right. But it is sort of like, well, yeah, but if you kill all the humans, like, what are you going to eat?
Yeah, then what are you gonna eat?
Yeah, so that is interesting. Not really sure I'm not sure if Frost has thought this all the way through, which is probably what the elder vampires are saying.
You know what I do think is interesting though?
What's that?
After this scene with Pearl, it cuts to a rooftop party at Frost's house.
That's right.
And guess what's playing on the TV?
Oh, I don't recall this. What?
Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
It's Reptile. The quick scene of Reptile.
Yep. This is like...
From Mortal Kombat.
No wonder you love this movie.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's just they're both New Line Cinema movies from the same time period, but I love when you see other movies that you like in cool new movies. Like in Hostel, you see Pulp Fiction playing on a TV.
Yeah, I do. And I am a sucker for that too. It's definitely a way to get a cheap level of excitement out of me. So Frost is like making some declarations like, hey, we got to get Blade out of the picture, but bring him to me alive.
Yeah.
There seems to be multiple declarations of like, hey, we got to go get Blade.
Yeah. But I think at this point he's found out or learned from the archives or whatever that they need Frost's blood to create this or bring back this blood god or whatever.
They need Blade's blood, right?
Yeah. He's the chosen one.
Yeah, bring him to me alive. So the vampires do attack Blade. He is getting overwhelmed and beat up, and all of a sudden Whistler shows up, guns blazing.
Yeah, this is Whistler's hero moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it spills out. There's a little bit of a chase. Blade and Karen end up in the I should say rarely seen or discussed LA subway.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a thing, but doesn't...
Maybe that's why I just assumed this movie took place in New York, too. Like,
yeah, that's
subway.
Fair. I mean, there is a subway in LA, but it doesn't get much play.
Yeah.
If you were able to do a trailer for this episode, that line would have gone in it.
Yeah, sorry. Probably not going to have a trailer for this one.
I guess the only thing noteworthy here is that they do escape. They get it.
He cuts Quinn's hand off again, which I think is just a funny recurring bit throughout the movie.
Yeah. Now here's something that I don't get that may be explained, and maybe you can enlighten me, or maybe you'll just tell me, no, that's not explained. Frost is now turning on the elder vampires and takes the one that he's kind of had a combative relationship with. Why is it so easy for him to just do this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just
Why
it's
aren't
just one
these
of
other
those things.
vampires putting up more of a fight against him? I mean, the rest of the movie, it's not.
I know. Like every other vampire has, some sort of super strength. They're all jumping across rooftops and punching each other into walls, and they're all, able to regenerate. Quinn's hand gets cut off several times. So you would think that this guy who's like the leader of, whatever, all the vampires would be a little bit stronger and put up a little bit more of a fight, but
shouldn't he be like the Hulk Hogan of vampires? I mean,
you would think,
but
I don't know.
Nothing. He puts up no fight. Frost defangs him, which
kind of brutal.
Kind of like this. I thought this was like a fun touch.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of cool, unique vampire stuff that maybe hadn't seen in a vampire movie before. But like when they defang him, they're wearing like motorcycle helmets and they have sunblock on, and then just like totally blacked out kits so that, they can be out in the sunlight, I guess.
And they kill this combative elder vampire pretty easily.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't put up a fight.
Yeah. It's like, why weren't these guys overthrown before? I mean,
yeah.
They just don't do anything.
I do think the effects on this guy blowing up in the sun are pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think it's like like you said, they do some unique, fun things with the vampire mythology. And I guess you're just supposed to be like, well, Frost has gone where no rebel vampire has gone before, and he's fooled them all. Not really sure how, but it's happened.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just comic booky nonsense. But it's fun.
Back at Blade's lair, Karen, is still like messing around with her bites, and Whistler says to her, like, well, we didn't save you in time.
Yeah, somehow he knows just by looking at her bite that it's, whatever they tried to do didn't work.
But is it even true? I mean,
I think you're supposed to believe that it is true, and that's what gets her to start studying her own blood or whatever and come up with this cure.
Yes. That's very good. She's very resourceful like that.
Yeah.
But guess what, Keith? That's the last note that I wrote down. So I only made it this far for the notes. So we got to go off the cuff the rest of the way. I know that in terms of like big sequences that are left to follow, certainly when the vampires show up at Whistler's lair and start attacking. I don't know if there's something of note before that.
So right before that, there's a little sequence where Blade runs into Frost in the open, and he's like, kind of like, how are you standing out here? And he realizes he's very pale looking.
That's true. Okay, this is the park scene.
Yeah. And Frost has a little kid held hostage.
Yeah.
And I think Frost is just kind of trying to get him away from Whistler at this point so that his crew can go and attack Whistler. I'm not sure 100% if that's what his motivation was for being there.
That seems reasonable that this would be part of a plan. Yeah.
He's trying to lure him in because ultimately he needs Frost's blood to do this ritual thing to turn him into the Blade's blood. Yeah, he needs Blade's blood, so he's trying to mess with him and, capture him, I guess.
Now, that actually does look cool, the part where they're in the park, because everything is pretty... There's some weird lighting in this movie, but everything's pretty dark and grim.
Mm-hmm.
But that scene is very green and bright.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just
another Matrix thing, though. Frost dodges some bullets right here.
That's right. I mean, there was many a thing.
There's so many Matrix influences.
But because Blade is lured away from Whistler's lair, now Whistler is vulnerable. Karen is back at the lair with him, and the vampires show up there. And I don't know, is there supposed to be any reveal as to how they find this place, or nope, we just know where to go?
No, I think it's literally just Frost says something to Blade when they're fighting before this. He's just like, or no, he says it when he gets there, and when he's like kicking Whistler, he's like, it took us a long time to find this place, and it's not really explained other than that.
Okay. Yep. But they found it.
So they find it. Basically, yeah, Whistler is like, they bite Whistler, I think. So this part is kind of confusing if you've seen the sequel, because the sequel, Whistler is alive, and in this one, he asks Blade for his gun. When Blade shows back up, Whistler asks for his gun and supposedly offs himself because he doesn't want to turn into a vampire. He says he's too far gone.
Yeah.
But if you've seen the sequel, you know that he's not dead.
I don't think I ever have seen the sequel, and I didn't know that, so...
Oh, well, sorry for spoiling it. But the movie literally starts off with Blade finding him or going to find Whistler.
I love it. They needed him back in the mix.
I will say, if you haven't seen the sequel, it's definitely worth watching. It's a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Oh, that's fun.
It's just as fun, if not more fun than this one, I think.
Well, I'm glad they brought Whistler back, because I do feel like there is a void in personality and story if Whistler's not in the mix.
Yeah, I'm trying to. What's the guy's name from the Boondock Saints? He's in The Walking Dead too.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
I can't think of that guy's
remember
name.
his name either.
He's the one.
All I'm thinking is like something Connolly or yeah, I don't know. I'm blanking. It shouldn't take you this long to look it up. Can it be at your fingertips, Keith?
I'm working on it.
Please. I mean, I feel like I can get there quicker.
It's Norman Reedus. He kind of steps in and he's the new Q, but Whistler also shows back up too. Obviously.
Okay. I totally was thinking you were talking about Billy Connolly from the Boondock Saints.
No, you know what? And I think Norman Reedus, is he the one from?
Yeah, that's from The Walking Dead. Yeah, the motorcycle guy, right?
But he's in the Boondock Saints too, right?
Yeah, he
is. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why. I guess I was thinking of Billy Connolly because he kind of looks like Whistler, like the guy that's their dad in the Boondock Saints.
Anyways, Blade 2 definitely worth watching though. Some would probably say Blade 2 is better than Blade 1.
Well, Guillermo del Toro is a legit,
a much more well-known director than whoever directed Blade 1, Stephen Norrington.
Yeah, Stephen Norrington, not a household name for me. I do think I looked at some of his other work, and I did recognize some of it, but,
Death Machine, that's a good one.
Totally not someone that I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to own every one of his movies.
He actually has an interesting resume, though. He did creature effects for Aliens and Alien 3.
All right.
As far as directing goes, not a lot though. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, not very good.
Yeah, Death Machine, Blade, The Last Minute, and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen are the only 4 movies that he's directed. But he's done like visual effects and special effects and stuff.
Well, I think it takes the life out of the movie a little bit to have Whistler be offed here.
Yeah,
even though he's not, but it is effective. I mean, now like we're obviously supposed to be getting a weakened Blade, and this is effective. I enjoy the character, so to have him not be in it anymore, bums me out.
And so Frost's crew kidnaps Karen, and obviously did what they did to Whistler, and that kind of sets Blade off on his final mission to go rescue Karen at this facility, right? Or am I missing something?
No, that's right. And the big thing that happens here that I was like, I think I need Keith to sort of weigh in on this. Are we just supposed to take this? Is this all take it for what they're telling you that this is Blade's mom?
Yeah, there's some weird stuff with Blade's mom. The way that she acts towards Blade, there's some like sexual tension.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm like, is this her? I guess they never.
It's the same actress,
and they never explain to you that it's not her. But doesn't it just seem weird? I mean,
it is weird, and I think I even thought this was weird as a kid. I was like, that's his mom. Why is she like kissing him? Kind of.
Why is she against him? I mean,
yeah. I think you're just supposed to believe that Frost kind of took her in, and Stockholm syndrome or something. I don't know.
What a brilliant move by Frost, knowing that he was going to someday have to play this card because he was going to need Blade's blood.
And she seems to be like his number one girl too. She's like in his penthouse.
I mean, I will say, Frost has a way about him when it comes to being around the lady vampires. They all are into Frost.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I don't know why they had to have Blade's mom be like somewhat incestuous. Or
I know. You thought there were too many twists and turns in Lake Mungo. I feel like maybe Blade needed to pull back on the like. Well, I don't think we needed this many plot elements.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I could have done without that part, but basically, they strap up Blade into this weird device where they're gonna, I don't know, drain his blood. they need his blood, right? You've made
Yeah,
that
so
clear
they-
several times, even though you kept saying Frost.
Yeah. So Frost needs his blood to do this ceremony thing, whatever. And while Blade's mom is distracting him with her weird incestuous activities, he gets zapped in the back of the neck or whatever.
Yeah.
There's some cool action stuff I guess I didn't mention real quick. Karen, I think before all this stuff happened, we skipped over it. As she comes up with the cure for herself, she also comes up with this blue juice stuff that is it makes vampires' blood explode. I think it's kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah.
It ends up being an important weapon.
Yeah. It's
tool.
nice. Yes. It's nice that Karen is so resourceful.
But yeah, it also leads to some goofy effects. There's a couple as Blade is like entering this facility in a very Matrix-esque action sequence.
That's right.
He kills a couple vampires with this blue goo, and they explode. And it doesn't look the best, but it's fun.
Yeah, the body's blowing up. Like I can't even describe what it looks like because there's definitely this cartoony effect being used.
They're bubbling up and expanding, and
Yeah.
and then they explode, and it's cool looking. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's got the '90s bad CGI charm to me. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
So Karen gets thrown into this pit with her ex-boyfriend in another sequence that used to scare the hell out of me when I was a kid. This version of her ex-boyfriend is terrifying to me. He's like
Him being like
zombie vampire. He didn't fully turn.
Yeah. They do explain it. They like Frost and Quinn are like talking about it, that there's these other, I don't know, demented versions of vampires.
Yeah, it's like vampires that didn't fully turn or something.
And you
But
want to know
I
what
think he's
they're
scary.
sort of like Reanimator.
Yeah.
That's more what they're like. They're like the zombie, like Reanimator is not vampires at all, but like,
yeah.
I don't know, what they turn into in Reanimator reminds me of this.
Yeah. Did this guy scare you when you saw this movie as a kid, though, or not really?
I don't recall. He seems goofy now.
Yeah. I don't know. I was always scared of him as a kid. Maybe it's just because she's, like, trapped in this little dungeon area with him or whatever.
Yeah.
But she ends up escaping, and she lets Blade loose, and for some reason, they leave him unattended while they're doing this ceremony. So Blade is not guarded at all. Karen frees him,
They just
and
need
the
a
final
little-
battle kind of ensues here.
Yeah, they just need a little bit of that blood, and then they're like, all right, we're good now. Because, I mean, it's all happening. Frost's plan is coming to fruition. The other elder vampires get killed super easily.
Yeah. They kind of just put him in these positions, and the blood drips on him or whatever. And then more cheesy 90s CGI, these
Big time.
skeleton giant bats fly out of them. I think it looks cool. It's very cheesy, but
Yeah,
I'm into it.
I mean, it's like it's silly looking, but it's kind of. I mean, I get the concept is fun because instead of, just blowing up, I guess they have these bat-like skeletons that
yeah, they
fly
come out of their mouths and
yeah,
fly around and fly through frost.
totally. Yep.
I don't know, but some of the coolest action happens here. Some of the coolest kung fu martial arts stuff happens here, I think.
This is the final showdown, and Blade's taking everybody on. He's going to run the gauntlet through everybody. I mean, luckily for him, what we would think would be the scariest enemy to go up against and try to run the gauntlet against would be all of these other vampires. But no, Frost has gotten rid of them in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Those dudes are gone. All that's left is Frost and his minions.
And Quinn...
We didn't really mention her, but the blonde kind of like third in command lieutenant, she's kind of a cool character that doesn't have like any dialogue really, but she's just a cool looking character. She kills one of the High Council members in a really cool way. They have Blade's sword. She stabs one of them in the stomach and like kicks him 30 feet into a wall, and Blade's sword just sticks into the wall. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she does have a cool look, and this is definitely a stylized movie. So she fits right into that world just fine. So Blade's, yeah, taking everybody on, and he has one final showdown with Quinn, right?
This is actually my favorite kill for Blade in the movie. He pulls out this like piano wire, assuming it's silver, and Quinn doesn't even really put up a fight. He's running at him, and Blade just pulls out this piano wire and cuts his head off with the piano wire, silver piano wire, and he just turns into dust. Another kind of cool, cheesy 90s effect.
We're finally done with Quinn. The long running battle between Quinn and Blade finally comes to an end.
So Quinn's down. A couple other goons get killed in the process here, and then it's just Frost and Blade left. But Frost now has turned into this blood god, and Blade has his sword back, and he cuts Frost's hand off, similar to how he cuts Quinn's hand off. But immediately, this is some more real cheesy 90s
Well,
CGI.
it's not just the hand, right? He cuts his body in half.
Yeah, so it starts with the hand. He cuts his hand off, and then that kind of comes back.
Yeah.
And then he cuts him in half like freaking Qui-Gon Jinn in The Phantom Menace.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing.
But like I said, it's just like real cheesy 90s 3D CGI. It basically, when his arm gets cut off, just this stream of blood comes and reconnects, and same thing happens with his torso. And at this point, you're like, is Blade going to be able to pull this off? But then he remembers the blue goo that Karen created.
That's right.
He gets the blue goo
Yep.
and basically pumps Frost full of blue goo, and he bubbles up and explodes.
Yeah, sort of a disappointing ending for Frost. After all that, all the archiving, all this searching through all that stuff, getting rid of all the elders, and still no match for Blade.
I do like how they incorporate, we didn't even talk about this, but Blade's really cool sword has a security measure on it where it's like anti-theft locked. So if you don't know about it, it has this thing where another vampire got his hand cut off with this previously. But this is how Blade gets the blue goo that's like stuck up on something. He throws the sword and the anti-theft thing goes off and it knocks the blue goo loose. And
yes, the blue goo is like the Chekhov's gun of this movie. Yeah. You knew, like, once they put the blue goo in, you knew that it needed to be used to kill Frost.
Yeah, you knew it was gonna play in at some point. But that's pretty much the movie, right?
Yeah, there is a whole like end thing right before the credits where they're in Moscow, and Lindsay wasn't watching this movie with me at all, but she came in for that part and she was like, "Oh boy, I do miss the 90s when Russia was just the villain in like every movie."
Yeah, communist Russia.
Yeah. She was like, "Well, maybe I just miss GoldenEye, but
I was going to say they're like the enemy in every Call of Duty ever too."
Yeah. Yeah, it was that time period. So, yeah.
But yeah, I think Karen tells him about the cure that she's found for herself and offers it to him, and he's like, "No, we're still fighting a war. I gotta have my powers still."
Well, he can't give up his regenerative and powers and his super strength. He needs to hold on to those to be able to fight these vampires. When does this war ever end? Who knows, Keith? I mean, it seems like we wipe out this. I mean, he didn't even have to mess with this group of elder vampires.
Frost did it for him.
Well, anything else on Blade?
No, I love this movie. Obviously, you could probably tell by my enthusiasm.
Totally. It's just like a fun watch, and it's definitely emblematic of a certain type of movie from this era.
Yeah. I mean, it's not joining the Criterion Collection anytime soon. There's no major...
I'm not ready to say that.
I mean, I was actually thinking, how funny would it be, because Guillermo del Toro has like 10 other movies in the collection.
Yeah.
Imagine if they put Blade 2 out.
They should just do Blade 2.
That would be incredible.
Coming to the Criterion Collection near you real soon.
Yeah. All right. I think that does it for Blade.
Okay, we're back to conclude this epic Blade episode, the halfway to Halloween celebration. Which, by the way, I'm glad that we did record this because if we just it would have sucked if we put out our halfway to Halloween episode in like July.
Yeah. Then it's halfway to Black Friday or whatever.
I assigned you, Keith, Experiment in Terror, which I have this nice indicator version of. But
I see how it is. You send me the cheapo Blu-ray.
Well,
the
it actually
indicator.
might have cost more money than my indicator one because there's not that many
I'm just
of them.
kidding.
But yeah, it's an older movie from 1962. Glenn Ford is in it and Lee Remick, and directed by Blake Edwards, which is a somewhat recognizable name to me, although I can't fire off what else he did. Interesting note on Glenn Ford. Not only was he in a bunch of movies from this time period, there's a guy that sits in our section for the University of Pittsburgh football games that looks like exactly like him.
How do you know it's not him? Is he dead?
It might be. It may be. I'm losing my light here. There we go. So yes, Keith, it's an older movie, but what did you think of this?
This movie is like a hot dog. Okay,
Yeah.
I liked the bun. The middle, not as much.
Yeah.
The beginning, it starts off really cool and very creepy. Like, just the guy who is the villain of the movie. It starts off with him basically doing a home invasion, and he has this woman held captive, and the way he's talking to her is very creepy. He kind of sounds like Ghostface from Scream or something.
Yeah, well, I thought that the first time I saw this, that jumped out to me that I don't know, there was this I was, for how old the movie is, for it being like in the early 60s and in black and white, there was an element to that villain character that I just felt like was out of time. It didn't seem of the era.
It seemed a little extreme for the era. Like,
yeah,
he's a little too menacing for villains of that time.
Agree, but that jumped out to me as something that made this movie unique.
Yeah, I did like that aspect of it, but then when you kind of find out what his goal is, basically he's a bank robber and he terrorizes bank tellers and uses them to rob the banks for him.
That's right.
Where it kind of like, there's this juxtaposition between like how creepy this dude is, and then he's just robbing banks. He's not like a murderer or something. Well, I guess he is like a murderer, but he's not like a Michael Myers serial killer or something.
Not like a slasher, yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of just really turns into a crime movie, really. I don't know if I would really consider this a horror movie, but that being said, the beginning of it was pretty creepy.
Yeah, I think it starts out like a horror movie, and then, yeah, to your point, does turn more into a criminal cop movie.
Yeah, because you're going back and forth between like this FBI guy who's helping the bank teller, and trying to catch this guy. One thing that I was thinking was like they get on the case like immediately. Yeah. I don't know if that's how it was back in the day, but I feel like today, if somebody was to call the FBI and be like, "Hey, this guy broke into my house and he's threatening me. He wants me to rob a bank. Can you help me out?" They probably would have to vet the situation before they immediately start working super hard on the case and get like 12 agents on it.
Yeah. It is. I think it's a San Francisco movie too, right? But they're in a.
Yeah.
I think they're in a part of San Francisco called Twin Peaks, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And so that's always gonna get a little bit of a reaction from me anytime you're in a place called Twin Peaks.
Yeah. So like, I like the beginning. The middle kind of slows down a little bit, and it kind of just becomes more of like a crime FBI agent trying to catch this dude.
Yeah.
Type thing, and they're using her as bait a couple times, and it's cool. I was into it, but not really what I was expecting, I guess. But then at the end, or closer to the end, the bad guy. Well, I don't want to spoil it, I guess, but the end, the final climax of the movie was pretty cool. Like, it's a really cool set piece. It takes place. I don't think it's spoiling it to say there's a set piece at a big baseball game. I think that was cool.
No, I agree. I don't really know how to say it. Like, I don't love this movie or anything, but it's one of the ones that I've found to be. You're just sometimes like surprised by a movie existing at a certain time, and I felt that way watching this movie.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. It feels a little more modern than the 60s, I guess.
Yeah, like it's certainly like obviously pre New Hollywood. I mean, leading up to that time period, but it just. I've watched a lot of the old like black and white, more like crime noir stuff, and this is like a blend of that into like it's sort of blended with horror thriller a little bit.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it though. I'm glad that you assigned this one to me because I don't think I probably ever would have taken a shot on it. You're much more into like the pre-70s stuff than I am, but I feel like I'm always surprised at how much I enjoy that stuff though. So I don't know. I need to
maybe you're coming around.
Watch more of the older stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely prefer like New Hollywood and on, but I'm into older stuff too, and I think that it's an interesting journey when you go on that stuff because I do have preconceived notions about like what I expect those movies to be like, and when I find stuff that's not what my expectations were, it's always welcome to me. It's like a welcome part of my journey in film discovery.
I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the show or not before, but I used to spend a lot of time at my grandmother's house growing up, and a lot of the time she would have Turner Classic Movies channel on.
Oh yeah, TCM, hell yeah.
So I did watch a lot of older movies like this as a kid. The Great Escape was one of my favorites. I feel like that one was like always on.
Oh yeah.
So like I like pre-70s movies like in that way, and they kind of give me like a warm, fuzzy, nostalgic feeling for like watching movies on the floor in my basement or in my grandmother's living room. But I don't know why. I just need to dive more into the older stuff. No,
I get it. I mean, there was a long time where I didn't even really like watching movies that came out like before we were born. Like,
yeah,
so it's really only over the last 10 years or so of my life that I started going like further back.
Yeah,
in time to the older stuff, and there's still so much uncharted territory for me.
Yeah,
but
I have a lot of blind buys from Criterion that are all pre-70s stuff.
Yeah, so we'll see if those pop up on the show. All right, Keith.
So, your homework you kind of assigned yourself, but I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
do it.
And I assigned it to myself because I knew. You had talked about it before, and it was of interest to me, and it just felt like we kind of earmarked it as a potential future homework, and it just felt like this was the time.
Yeah. So we're talking about In a Violent Nature.
Yeah, and because I saw the trailer for the second one, and was really feeling like it was something that I was really interested in. I was really sold on the concept and the gimmick of it. Mm-hmm. I watched this one, and I didn't feel like it was quite what I wanted it to be from watching the trailer of the second one.
Yeah. Did I hype it up too much for you?
Huh?
Did I hype it up too much for you?
No, not at all. I like it. Like, and I appreciate what it was going for. And I actually really liked the end. I really liked the end in the car.
It drags on so long, but I feel like it kind of like rams home. If you were gonna think about this movie deeper than probably most people do, I think it's definitely saying something, the end at least, about trauma and how like you never really recover from something like that, where it's like, because you get this feeling while they're having this conversation in the end of the movie. It's like basically the final girl escapes and she gets rescued by this woman and she's in this car. But the scene drags on for like 10 plus minutes.
Well, here's one thing. If I had to say a couple sentences that I felt overall about my full experience, it's that it's not as suspenseful as I wanted it to be. Like, there's not a lot of suspense. Yeah. But I felt a lot of suspense in that final sequence in the car.
Oh, yeah. Because you're like, she never feels safe.
Yeah.
And you as the viewer are like, this dude could show up at any moment, like anytime, because they stopped the car, and you're like, this dude's gonna show back up and get her.
It's like this really cool throwback to old slashers, and it really leans into like the slow walk and like the heavy sound effects. Like the sound effects are like the crunching of the walking through the woods and everything. And that part is appealing to me. I sort of feel like the decision to use no score is tough. I think that you're not utilizing one of the tools to build suspense.
Yeah.
And then there is kind of a lack of suspense, I felt.
Yeah. No, I think some people who don't like this movie say it's boring, and that's probably part of it, like not having the of, the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah. It is cool though, and I like what they're going for. And I am more interested even in seeing this sequel and seeing if like they can do the stuff that I thought worked well from the first one and like take that to the next level.
Yeah, I'm really curious what they're gonna do too. I think the really cool thing about
the trailer for the second one looks like fun. I was like, okay, I like the way that this is cut together.
Yeah, I gotta ask, did Lindsay watch this one with you or no?
She did not. She did not watch this one.
She probably wouldn't have handled the death scenes too well.
And the death scenes are intense. I think she saw she did see parts of them. I think she saw the one with the girl getting folded in half or whatever.
And she's probably like, Keith made you watch this, right?
No, she didn't react too harshly other than like, I think that's just like not for her.
Yeah. I was squeaming in the part with the wood splitter.
Yeah.
Like what is he, like a park ranger or something who gets paralyzed and then I hated that scene. Like I loved it but hated it at the same time. Yeah.
I mean that part was executed well. I mean,
yeah.
It was definitely effective, but yeah, I did find that it was like lacking suspense, but then for that whole final sequence, I was like feeling the suspense build back up in a way that it hadn't the full movie for me. And I loved that. I loved the way that it ends.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff about this movie that I really like. It feels almost like it could have just been like a short film joke, because it's like the whole premise of the movie is rather than following the victims, you're following the killer.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's one of those things that people talk about, I feel like, when they're talking about Friday the 13th movies. It's like, how did he get from this point to this point so fast or whatever? And it's like, well, he didn't actually. And this movie kind of shows his perspective. I don't know. I'm probably not explaining what I'm thinking.
No, I think that's well put. I do think that kind of sums up what this is.
But it could have just been like a joke, stupid short film, but they execute it really well, making it a full feature-length movie.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm glad I watched this, and I still want to see this sequel.
Yeah.
If I get an opportunity to see it in the theater, I will.
Yeah.
I don't know what the theatrical release situation is, because this first one was like a low-budget, like Canadian indie movie or something, wasn't it?
I don't know what the budget was in one. I'm assuming it was low budget, but I did see this movie in the theaters. It played
you did?
here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw it with my wife, Chris, and one of her friends was like, "Can I go with you guys?" And I don't think she knew what she was getting into.
Well, I'm glad I watched this, but I think we can probably wrap it here. I'm glad we did get to jump back into. We wanted to do like more fun horror movies, which I feel like we mostly accomplished.
Yeah. I mean, John Carpenter's Vampires and Blade, it doesn't get much more fun than that.
Absolutely.
All right. That do it? Anything else, Matt?
No, I think we can punch out of this.
All right, cool. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. You find us on Instagram at High Volume Video. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, we're also on YouTube at High Volume Video. And I think you can just search Return to Videotech if you're interested in watching or seeing our faces on YouTube. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you in the next episode.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
I hate when people talk during the movie. Over the line!
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Return to VIDEOTECH.